Well, Cameron and Wanda, the big issue is cost. Council leaders say the project will cost more than they expected, about $7 million more. As you can see, there's a lot of water here, but really no ice. Officials say they didn't have very many problems, but it has fired up. There's plenty of debate. Tonight, we've also learned more about the victims and their families' take on exactly what happened. Cameron and Wanda, the jobs vary, everything from building these rides to running the concession stands. Wanda, the director of emergency services, tells us that 4 people are dead tonight after a shooting. And if you want to show your support, all you have to do is put a blue light in front of your window. Now the state wants to raise those taxes even higher. Well, Cameron and Wanda, the suspect was last seen running into the woods behind me. Because of that, the water has no place to go, and you can see the water is backing up out here. He says the law is the law, and he's earned the right to re-enter society. Well, Wanda, the 84-year-old Burlington woman, decided that she was not going to be a victim, and with the help of a broom, she made sure that was the case.
Yeah, I'll give him a good whooping.
Yvonne Williams relives the nightmare she went through Tuesday night.
And it scared me.
She laughs nervously as she talks about the 2 men she says broke into her home.
Well, I heard the door come open. Well, I thought, well, who in the world's coming in this time of night?
She says those men eventually made their way into her bedroom.
I was asleep, and I heard the door open to my bedroom. Well, I got up, see, and there they stood before I got out of bed. Stood up, this is closed. Boy, I seen that and I was ready to leave there.
She was scared, but definitely not paralyzed with fear. Instead, the 84-year-old jumped into action.
They had a gun. They had guns. I seen them, I got busy.
She had a broom next to her bed. She had intended to use it to clean her home. Instead, she used that broom to defend it.
I whooped him and head come down. I may hit him in that arm, I know hurt. But I was scared of him.
She didn't hit once or twice, but repeatedly as she chased one of the men down the hallway and down the stairs.
Boy, they moved out too. When I got the beating, they got gone.
The whole incident shook her to her core. Police say you shouldn't fight off intruders, but looking back on the situation, Williams says she had no choice but to act.
I had to do that because the way my bed's sitting, I couldn't go around them, so I picked it up and started. I didn't want them to kill me.
Williams says she lost some money and other possessions, but despite that, this Christmas she is grateful she is still alive.
I was fortunate I got out. You know, no injuries in it.
Now, police say that Williams is lucky, and generally if there is an intruder in your home, you shouldn't confront them. It is generally very dangerous. Now, police also say there are several other burglaries in that area last night. At this point, they're not sure if they're connected, but if you have any information on any of these crimes, call Burlington Police. Live in Greensboro, Preeti Arla, WXII 12 News. Wanda, 4 people are dead tonight, and police say it was not a random act. Tonight, they are looking for this man, 29-year-old Marcos Gonzalez, in connection with those murders. The Mount Airy police chief says, based on his actions today, Gonzalez is a man who had complete disregard for human life. In the usually quiet town of Mount Airy, police say violence erupted after a man shot 4 other men in the parking lot of a local business. Mount Airy police say 2 men died at the scene. 2 others were taken to the hospital where they later died.
As far as I know, it's never happened in this area, not to this magnitude.
It was an emotional scene as those who knew the victims learned of their deaths. Police won't say what led up to the shooting or the relationship between the shooter and victims.
The individuals were there for a reason, and that is what our focus is. Why were they there? What events led up to this? So we can conclude this investigation and bring those responsible to justice.
Mount Airy Police Chief Dale Watson did say the men were shot multiple times with a high-powered rifle.
It was not a random act.
Chief Watson tells us they are looking for this man in connection with the shooting, Marcos Gonzalez. Chief Watson called Gonzalez bold because the shooting took place in broad daylight in front of more than a dozen witnesses.
They were very helpful. Of course, it is a community effort. If the witnesses hadn't came forward, we would probably not be to the level we are right now with their investigation.
Gonzalez is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. The police department is putting all of their resources into finding the suspect. They're also working with other law enforcement agencies.
We have all the available resources. Law enforcement, we're doing the best we can to locate the parties responsible for this event and this incident, and just allow us the time to conclude with this investigation.
Police aren't releasing the identities of the victims until the families are notified, but we do know they are from this area. Once again, they are looking for Marcos Gonzalez. He was last seen in a Ford F-350 pickup truck. It is green with brown trim. Police say once again that he is armed and dangerous. If you have any information, call 911 or Mount Airy Police. Live in Mount Airy, Preeti Arla, WXII 12 News.
Preeti, before you go, as far as you know, is Gonzalez the only suspect in this case?
We did ask police that. At this point, they say they are unsure about that, but they are still investigating to find that out. Wanda. And up and down that street, when we first got here around 11 o'clock, there were no cars there, no officers there at that spot. Obviously, right now, they're trying to control who goes in and out of that area, basically leaving it for police and sheriff's officials. But right now, we don't know, once again, how the officers are doing. But obviously, from talking to the sheriff, we know he said he was here at the hospital. The latest we know is that the family of those officers have been called and told to come here to the hospital. We don't know how they are doing. We were told that they were shot in critical areas. Don't know exactly what that means. Also know that the chaplain is here for the officers and their families. A lot of people inside, we're told, working on these officers, trying their best to help them out in this situation. But once again, we don't know their condition. The hospital is telling us they're not going to be releasing any information. So hopefully from the Winston-Salem Police Department, we'll get some information about what exactly is going on inside. Told that it is a frantic scene, obviously a very serious situation. Just an indication is all the cars behind me that you can see. So that is the latest that we have, Kenny, for right now. I'll send it back to you. Cameron and Wanda, we've all seen them while driving down the road. We even saw a few today while we were driving around, and they seem simple and fairly innocent with just stick figures and some names. But police say that little bit of information is all that a predator needs.
We'd, seen them before on other people's cars and thought they were cute.
Ashley Bradford drives around with this sticker on the back of her car. The 3 figures represent her 2 girls and her dog. It was a gift from her mother.
When she'd gone to Disney, she saw the ones with the Mickey ears, so she thought, oh great, let's get those. So, because my girls are into Disney, so just a cute way to personalize the car.
Others take it one step further, personalizing them to have the figures and names of mom, dad, the kids, or even pets. Police have some advice for parents putting those stickers on their cars.
I would never underestimate what a predator or someone may use or try to use if they see a car with children's names on it and the kids in the car. They could even follow the parents from store to store until the opportunity presented itself, maybe.
Police say the sticker could provide predators with all the information they need to prey on your family.
Any kind of information they could use to be more familiar to the child. If kids get more comfortable, then they may drop their guard a little bit, and it only takes a second.
I was shocked. I don't think if my mother had given me those with their names already on them, I would have put them on there. I wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Bradford says the sticker she once thought was so cute, she is now considering taking off.
Yeah, mine are young, so if someone come up to them and say, hey, anything about their sister or their dog and not necessarily tell them by name, they wouldn't think anything of that. My 5-year-old's not going to say, well, what is my sister's name?
She also plans to let family and friends know about this simple sticker and the dangers it could present.
You don't think about things like that until someone brings it to your attention, so.
And police aren't saying whether you should or shouldn't have these, but they say you should have that conversation with your kids about strangers. And we also spoke to a company today that makes these stickers, and they defended the ones that don't have the name, saying that someone could look into your car and see the number of kids or pets that you have. As far as the ones that do have names under them, they say they do recommend people get the ones without names, but they say those personalized ones are still very popular. Live in High Point, Preeti Arla, WXII 12 News. Like many students in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system, Ashley Price rides the bus to school. But Ashley needs more assistance because she is confined to a wheelchair. She uses a ramp each day to get on and off the bus.
When you pull the lift out, they have a cut, and if your chair goes over it, it can easily tip your chair over.
A source of anxiety for the 16-year-old and her parents.
I have hit that a couple of times, but I've never fallen over.
The Price family says last year an assistant rode the